ground, but the mind's online. Circuits breathe where the forests shine. Till it streams through the rivers wide. Nature coded the future alive.
Misses the J after tricking the D with the nifty pass. Oh, and there's the alley-oop.
How about Holy Crystal now with the Divine Glaive, so he's going to be a pretty big threat in terms of damage, but look at the gold gap between him and Oheb. Oheb has been farming like a madman.
Yep.
Just absolutely. Yep. So Oheb's got his Trinity. JP providing that vision, like we were talking about, is crucial for TL's lineup to work, and they want to put pressure around this purple buff.
Now this kind of vision is aggressive. They're coming in.
Penalty zone of the AOG. Ludwig goes in for flying. Sarmu gets disintegrated by Oheb. And now it's Keyboy holding the lines. That's a tech charge landing on 4, but a Purify comes out of calls, able to taunt him down. Keyboy, take it low, cooling down. Oheb with a blazing duet gets 2 as Kai trades for it with a tier 2.
2 kills for Kiel 1. Up top, Kyrie making some leeway for Onic ID. So nothing comes for free. The long lane is taken care of.
Yep.
Onic ID, despite the 5,000 gold gap, I'd say can still dance. I think they can still partake 30 seconds from now because of the singular factor that is the Mountain Shocker.
Yeah.
And, of course, the diversion. Because if in case they were losing, they can just skedaddle.
Yeah, the diversion is always going to be a big component that any team that has a Luyi can play around with. We're going to look at the replay for this. Again, penalty zone starting things up. Oheb popping up the damage like we mentioned. And this is, unfortunate for Onic because they just didn't have the members for this fight, right? You have Kyrie pushing into what he can. Sans earlier was part of this. Whoa, Lord is up. They're going to fight for this before.
And for penalty zone into the back. Kyrie able to trace a Cypher again, jumps in, and that's the hammer now from JP.
JP closing off the exit. Keyboy with a tech charge. That is a desperation move as Onic retreat.
Blazing duet canceled earlier. They're still able to kite back, but they've lost Kyrie. And look at the timing. It couldn't have been worse for Onic. The Lord spawns in the land of dawn.
Almost clairvoyant-like game sense on Sanji. One might look at the angle and say, why would you take the Feather Airstrike far away that way? But no, he was reading where Onic was going. And that was almost just as important as all the damage of Kyrie that took him out of the equation, that keeps him going. Lord for Onic, what's not going to be done? Liquid takes it and take down Keyboy too.
Buy one, get one, Lord, and a free Keyboy.
Oh, man.
In the lane.
That's unfortunate. For, Onic now, Keyboy up in about less than 20. They're going to have to face the fact that these base turrets might fall here.
Actually, what were they doing down there?
I have no idea.
Was Onic hoping that maybe Kyrie could catch up and then they could snatch a little free Lord? They're inside the base, mid lane cracks.
In the base here, Lord is making his way down into that mid lane, and Keyboy will be up for this defense. Does it all end here with almost a 9,000 gold lead for Team Liquid as they approach the base?
Oheb with the BMI backwards. Lidby holding in on the Lord right now. They can still go for the defense. They have Sans, they have Skylar. They've dealt with it now. Feather airstrike in the bottom lane. That's going to be Oheb going for the siege as tech charge gets used defensively for Keyboy. AOG! Kai gets out with the traceless. And that's it. TL say, all right, let's back.
Slowly does it as Liquid is aware that there is no wave up top to push for the inevitable 3-lane push. The waves have not equalized, so they're going to go look at this Lord coming up in about 100 seconds, a minute and 40. And this is correct, resources for Onic, but they're just not in a position to find those fights anymore. When was the last time we saw Sans pull off a diversion that actually did something?
Honestly,
I don't even remember it. Not a single time, I feel.
He tried. He tried to save, a couple of his teammates here and there, but ultimately I feel like Sans has essentially not been able to do much on this Luyi pick. Yes, there's been a couple. Oh no, Kyrie's going to be in trouble here. Loopy's there around the corner.
The time is short. Sanford doesn't want to go for the penalty zone, but look at Sanji.
That push up top.
Airstrike. 1, 2, Skylar! Brilliance! And that's it. I thought for some reason Sanji was going to flicker in there to look for the kill.
Too many times.
The very last microsecond he could have clicked the brilliance, yes, but Sanji knows better. Again, that's 120 seconds compared to the 20-something that is the Feather Airstrike, so play for the Lord.
And that's the thing, man. Sanji just picked up, his last item was the Divine Glaive, and that's why you see that amount of damage coming through. They've been very good at landing those feathered airstrikes and zoning out. So now it's just Onic. Like, if they're in this situation where they're 9,000 behind, this Lord is coming about 30, you have to start to think, are they in even a fighting position most likely they give up the Lord and they try to base defense here. But I'm just worried about this lineup because so far it hasn't shown much. I mean, they've been reacting to what TL's thrown at them.
Uh-oh. Lippy on the taunt and the hammer swings of Sanford. He's still very tanky though, as long as it's not Oheb or Sanji, he can take the beating.
Major problem for Onyx lineup. Again, I hate to say it at 16 minutes, but I'm sure our panel alluded to this one way or another. There's very little range. Onic can only really go mid to short, and then they gotta go long to reset with a diversion and then come back in. So unless they can find that, unless they can force Liquid to fight in that short of a range, in the mud basically, Liquid's not having any of this.
Yeah, that's why this is such a risk here. Lord looks like it's just going to be quickly worked and secured unless Keyboy tries, but no. That tech charge though.
On Sanji, there's going to be Sans. Oh, he hits the wall. Penalty zone locks him down. Sans with a mistake call. Teasy with a punish. Kai with the traceless backwards. Blazing duet from Oheb.
That's a Boy Scout attempt on Skylar from the angle, but Ludwig falls. Liquid finding them, dropping them one by one. Keyboy up next.
Oh, just one member left for Onic for the Sky Kings, and it's Kai. Can he do it? No, he cannot. Sanji silences Onic, and they silence Tennis Indoor Sanayan. The Sky Kings fall beneath the charge of the cavalry marching through the Golden Road.
Two champions met in the arena of Tennis Indoor Sanayan, and only one can move forward, and that's Team Liquid.
Something about these hollowed halls here in Jakarta, Indonesia, awaken something in these gentlemen. They've all been here. They've all won here. But today, they've done something none of us thought they would do this early on in the tournament. They dropped Onic, Indonesia.
And it's just like MSC 2025. The repeat happens again. It's TL with game 1, game 2, match point. Onic getting a quick game in, and then TLPH be like, all right, fun and games is over.
You can see it here, you know, them feeling pretty good about that game. I mean, the series in general, of course, tough to see. There's the hug between the GOAT and Kyrie. It was a tough match, and it's tough to see what the result always is for Onic Indonesia.
But thinking about what's going on in the minds of the Sky Kings, of Kyrie specifically, he said he's lost so many times and none of this phases him anymore. GG, well played to Onic Indonesia. Thank you for putting on a match. Thank you for being here for us in M7.
Again, a phenomenal performance here from Team Liquid. Just to go ahead and make this happen again, you look at the highlights here through this game, and they started strong. They responded to Onic, wanted to throw at them. Again, they started slow. This is what the lineup and composition does with a Fredrin, right? It's utility jungle. You go ahead, build up slow, you let your Claude scale. Meanwhile, Claude has kind of been slept on a little bit through the drafts. Well, now he comes through, and again, this fits perfectly in this composition.
This is the right response after what happened in Game 3. Liquid read into that and said, we can't lose a draft like that anymore. This ends now.
Feels like Onic in the game, complete 180 from the draft. They were creative. They were looking for those picks, but in the game, they played it safe all throughout.
Well, again, congratulations, TL. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the host on stage for the winning interview.
With pride, they represented the host country as champions, but unfortunately now they have to bow out of the competition. Terima kasih, Onic Indonesia, for that valiant effort.
Yes, guys, and now on the brighter note, the winner of our second elimination match of the day, Tennis Indoor Sanayan. Give it up for Team Liquid! Boys, an amazing match. But to Carl TZ, many people thought that this matchup between you and Kyrie, as well as Onic ID, would be in the grand finals. And unfortunately, it just had to be in the lower bracket. How did you feel when you learned about this matchup actually?
Nung una po, nagulat din po ako kasi talagang expected kami talaga sa finals. Pero ganun talaga, dapat talaga nangyari iba sa, sa stage na talaga. And masaya lang ako nanalo kami.
He said at first he was also shocked because he did expect to meet Onic ID in the grand finals. But, that's tournament life. You don't know what could happen on stage. And when it happens, one just has to continue their journey.
The beauty and the despair of the tournament, right? The ups and downs of the tournament, but you still were able to push through. Now for OHEB, a lot of people are talking about, every single person is talking about the possibility of you guys completing your golden road. Now, the thing is, this time around, it will be a little bit more tricky, considering that you guys will have to do it from the lower brackets. Now, for OHEB in particular, you've been able to achieve this in M3. Do you think that you can do it here again?
Yung run sa lower bracket sobrang nakakapagod talaga, and ayaw sana namin siyang maulit kasi araw-araw na laban sobrang nakakapagod, lalo sa mental namin. Pero ang gusto talaga namin ma-pull off tong golden run at makuha yung M7. Wala na kaming pake kahit anong mangyari, kahit anong pagod, kahit anong sacrifice, bibigay na namin lahat para makuha lang namin to.
He said that as much as possible, he actually didn't want the lower bracket run to be the run that they will be having this M7 because it's very straining on a player having to play every single day in a back-to-back match. It's even more straining on the mental state because they have to go through so much. But he said he doesn't care whatever challenges comes his way. He just wants to pull off that golden road run. Wow. And of course, Carl, you were able to do it too back in the M2. Now, on your end, how confident are you that you will be able to do the same thing in M2 this time around in M7?
Siguro po ngayon yung nararamdaman ko, very confident kasi kakapanalo lang namin sa Onic and alam kong sila yung isa sa pinakamalakas dito sa tournament kaya very confident talaga.
That is very confident, especially after the win up against Onic. It gave them a momentum boost because they know that Onic ID is one of the stronger opponents this M7 World Championship, Eterna.
Now, speaking of stronger opponents, we're going to go back to OHEB, all right? Because your next matchup will be Turkey's representative, Aurora Gaming, and just like you guys, right? They almost took down SRG, the Giants of Malaysia. Now, we're curious to know what your thoughts are on this team. What do you think about Aurora Turkey?
Personally, tingin ko po sila talaga yung dark horse ngayong tournament. Like mga past tournaments, lagi talaga namin sila nakakalaban. At isa rin talaga sila sa contender. Feel ko lalaruin lang namin kung ano yung nilaro namin kanina and kung paano kami nag-prepare. Pero mas better. Feel ko ganun.
He said that Aurora Turkey is definitely the dark horse for him this tournament, and he won't deny it. They're very strong as they've met in previous tournaments as well. But the gameplay that they'll be putting up against Aurora Turkey is the gameplay that they did with Onic, but even better. And of course, study the opponent even better. Carl, what about you? Going up against Aurora Turkey, are you excited for that?
Opo, excited din ako makalaban sila. Tapos alam ko yung capabilities nila kasi sa MSC nakalaban namin sila and respetuhin namin sila.
That is excited and he's met them in MSC. They know what they are capable of. You know what, Carl Tizzy, despite playing in Indonesian home ground, I see so many of the cavalries were actually supporting TL. Is there anything you want to say to perhaps the buff that came to support you all the way from the Philippines?
Thank you sa lahat ng pumunta dito. Thank you sa mga sumupport. And shout din sa girlfriend ko na pumunta pa.
Is that thank you to everybody who came. Thank you for supporting. And of course, shout out to the girlfriend who flew all the way from the Philippines.
That was beautiful, Carl. We're still hearing the support coming in here in the arena, ladies and gentlemen. And while they celebrate their success today and prepare for their match tomorrow, we're going to throw it over once again back to the panelists to break down that game.
Thank you very much, Rose, as well as Eterna. And Team Liquid still looking very strong. And again, the final boss of the M7. Really, they're going through the lower brackets. We heard from OHEB say that they would prefer not to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games, mentally it is going to be straining. But, hey, it is what is it. Speaking of, Trex, Onic didn't have a lot of crowd control, huh?
They did not.